Boo. FEMA concentration camp updates. Um, I get lots of mail from people. I get lots of notifications from other people that I've given my private information to concerning how to reach me on my email or just to get a hold of me to let me know some of the things that are going on. First of all, let's get started. Air Force Base, a rather large Air Force Base in Florida, confirmed underground structures. We've confirmed these structures. I probably shouldn't know what I know, but we've confirmed these structures as being FEMA operated and managed. Whidbey Island, Washington State, government employees are out there doing massive construction. They're literally turning it upside down. Brand new train terminal out in the middle of nowhere, belongs to no one. Right beside it, construction. Joliet Prison, the scene of the Blues Brothers. If you saw the movie, this is the prison. They're remodeling the insides. Confirmed federal employees, FEMA operated. Also the underground facilities, which we already know about in Chicago. Also reports coming in from Texas and West Virginia. Everyone's sending me their information, and I want to thank everybody because we got a bunch of stuff. And now mine. I went to 3 cities, 4 actually in total, but one of them was sort of on the way anyway. Well, both of them were on the way. Cheyenne, Wyoming, new facilities, new rail yard, new fenced-in areas, fences turned inward to hold in its contents, large, some barracks, some military barracks outside, some military posts, high up vantage points. Fort Collins, Colorado, couldn't see very much from the street, not much to see. Talked to the locals, lots of construction, FEMA operated, lots of local FEMA trucks running around their city. Lots of attempts to buy local property from the federal government to expand their base. Colorado Springs, which is my southernmost trip. New facilities, new rail yard, turned in fences, and then finally Trinidad, Colorado, which yielded the most. Trinidad is in the updates as a result of the old German concentration camps. The old German concentration camps during World War II no longer exist in any way, shape, or form. It was actually the city where they found tunnels that led out. A German prisoner had escaped, made it all the way to Chicago before he was finally caught. And then, of course, let's get back to Trinidad. New rail, new construction, and I mean new rail. New rail yard, new construction, tall buildings, fenced-in area. Talk to the locals. What's going on? A couple of unusual things that we found on our way out there. One of them was lots and lots of signs. Not like in Fort Collins, where there were some people who just said not for sale to the U.S. government. There were signs out there that said, and they were big signs, this property not for sale to the U.S. government. So I started asking around. I found a local who I chatted with, and apparently most of the cattle farmers, it sounds innocent enough, they want to maintain their grazing land for their cattle. So I got to talking to him, and he said there had been lots of construction out there. And it's usually a testing ground for helicopters and tanks, and someplace they can go fire off some rounds and get their training in. Well, now they don't need it. They can actually do most of that in war zones, active war zones, being the Middle East. I got to talking to the locals. Lots of nice, friendly folks in Trinidad. Hi, Trinidad. I told you I'd be doing something like this, so if you saw me and you talked to me, and a promise is a promise, I will be turning this out. I talked to a local tour guide who had, small towns are great, who had talked to me about these massive structures that they had been building out there. No one seems to know what it's all about. Went to a bar that was near the military base because some construction guys, after they get off work, they like to grab a beer. Grabbed a snack there. I got to talk to the bartender. He didn't seem real reliable in his information, like he vaguely might be listening to someone who's actually talking to him. But that's a bartender's job. Everybody yaks in his ear, chews it up all day long. Eventually it just starts falling in one ear and falling right out the other. But we went to a local diner where we met a nice waitress who pointed us in the direction of another man who was sitting at another table, and she approached him to find out if I could talk to him, and he was glad to talk to me. Apparently, FEMA's been doing a lot of work around Trinidad and inside the military base. Now, since no one was actually selling property to them, they managed to find a cattle rancher, and I'll show you this on my map. They managed to find a cattle rancher who was tired of doing cattle. This is the military base here. If I show you this gray area right here, this is all part of the military base. Now, if you come over this way, this is all I-25. This is a major highway that runs through the center of the state. Here's La Junta. Here's Trinidad. Let's see, yeah, here's Trinidad, where I went to. And then all the highway out here toward the military base, everything along both sides of the highway down through here, they pointed out that's where you saw the signs that said not for sale to the U.S. military. So what they actually found was a fella here in Pueblo County who actually owns a stretch of property which pretty much goes all the way over here to I-25. So they've managed to purchase all of his property that cuts across here and somewhere along through here, and this is all cattle land. And they've purchased all this property, so they've gone across a major highway here to come over and to do something else. Now down around through here, I saw lots of other construction, and no one can tell me whether or not there are FEMA concentration camps being built, because it's probably classified information since it's on a military base. But they do know that FEMA has been around a lot. There were lots of trucks, lots of deliveries, lots of construction personnel, and phase 3 I think is finally ready to begin. I guess they're going to be doing the last of the rail line, the last of the construction yard, last of the turrets, or not turrets, but the last of the intake process and procedures. You know, when someone tells me something, I try to find someone I know. Well, I didn't know anyone in Trinidad. I knew some people in La Junta. I know a couple of rail staff that worked in La Junta, and they know what's going on, and they've seen the trucks. Lots of construction materials, some rather large equipment has been on its way out there. And America, we need to find out what's going on. If there actually are building these concentration camps with the intent of reducing populations, this is all New World Order, Bilderbergers, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and if you're not ready to conform, they're going to chip you. That's their whole intent and goal, is they want to chip you. And they've decided to get rid of the Real ID card. They want to go straight to the microchip. They've decided that the Real ID card is just a lag-in set, and by 2012 they won't have everything that they need. Now the RFID is already being implemented in some hospital patients, and I talked to someone who's in the medical industry, and most of the people that are actually getting these cards or getting the chip now are as a result of, you know, like I said before, Alzheimer's patients, the mentally ill, the runaways, the wanderers, people who just have mental problems, and they need to locate them, and they turn up in an emergency room or in a jail cell. They take them to the local hospital and check that RFID, and that's when it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, that's when it's a good thing. When the family says, okay, let's do this for this person's safety. Well, you know, it keeps raising the question over and over again of why are they building these camps? And they're building so many of them. I'm getting reports in from almost every state in the union concerning just how many they're building. In Canada, they have Operation Garden Plot. They've instigated that plan. North Carolina has their hologram. It's already the North American Union hologram right on their driver's licenses. I'm not trusting anything anyone has to say to me anymore, and I don't want to drop out. I want to change the course of this, and we can, America. We really, really can. We can take charge of our city and take charge of our state and bring things about to make a better nation for everyone. But the first step that we have to do is realize that yes, it is going on. Get up off our couches, get out, start looking around, and start asking questions. And to the people in Trinidad, I want to say thank you. I've never felt more welcome as a result. Once you realized I was on YouTube, and I'm sure it didn't matter, but we're going to get onto it in just a little bit. Thanks a lot. I'll see you later.